They say every charm comes with a price, and sometimes the price is your soul. It started in a quiet office building after midnight. The floor was empty, the lights flickered, and only the sound of humming computers filled the silence. And there, on one lonely desk, sat a doll, its wide grin and oversized eyes staring directly at whoever looked at it. This is the story of a man who thought he bought good luck, but instead he invited something else, something that never wanted to leave. Ethan was 28. He worked the night shift in IT, long, lonely hours, endless deadlines, cold coffee to keep him awake. He lived in routine and in silence. One night, a colleague mentioned something strange. A toy, a collectible called the Labubu doll. People whispered that it wasn't just a toy, it was a lucky charm. Bring it home, they said, and it will bring wealth, success, and protection. Ethan didn't really believe it, but something about that doll caught his attention. So one evening, he ordered it, and when the package arrived, he opened the box slowly, and those oversized eyes were the first thing to greet him. That grin frozen, yet almost alive. "You better bring me some luck, buddy," Ethan whispered, half smiling, as he placed the doll on his desk. At first, things changed. Deadlines he thought he'd miss were suddenly completed on time. His boss praised him for the first time in months. He even won money in an online raffle. The doll seemed to work. It was always there, sitting quietly on his desk, watching. But good fortune always comes with shadows. Small things began to happen. At night, Ethan swore he heard scratching sounds coming from the desk. Sometimes the doll seemed to shift, facing him, even though he'd left it turned toward the window. And one night, he heard it, a faint giggle, childlike, in an office that should have been empty. He tried to ignore it. He told himself he was just tired, but the more he ignored it, the worse it got. One night, while typing, his computer monitor flickered. Static filled the screen. Then, for a split second, those wide, round eyes appeared on the glass. The doll's face, staring back at him. "What the hell?" Ethan muttered, unplugging the monitor. But behind him, a soft giggle echoed. He spun around. The doll was on the floor, closer to him than before. Shaking, Ethan picked it up, placed it back on the desk, but the grin felt wider now, sharper, hungrier. That night, he dreamed of it, the doll standing over his bed, its tiny hands reaching for his throat. He woke up sweating, heart pounding, but when he turned to his side, he froze. The doll was sitting on his bedside table. He had left it at the office. From then on, everything unraveled. Whispers followed him in the stairwell. His reflection in the office glass showed the doll standing beside him, and his skin carried scratches, like tiny claws had dug into him while he slept. Desperate, Ethan searched online, and there, on forgotten forums, he found them. Stories, collectors who had owned Labubu dolls. Each story was the same. First came the good luck, then the nightmares, then the hauntings, and finally, death. His voice trembled as he read it aloud. "It doesn't give, it takes. The doll doesn't bring luck, it feeds on you." The lights in his apartment flickered violently. Ethan turned his head slowly, and there it was, sitting on the desk. But this time, it blinked. Its head turned, stiff and slow, until its eyes locked on his. And then, in a distorted child-like whisper, it spoke.
"Mine."
The screen went black, and his scream echoed through the night. Morning came. The office workers walked in, chatting as usual, but when they reached Ethan's desk, he wasn't there. The desk was neat, as if nothing had happened, except for one thing. The doll, still sitting there, still smiling, still waiting. Ethan never made it to work again, but the Labubu doll waits patiently for its next owner.